Welcome to the show. Let's talk to Matt Brow. A very good Friday morning to you, young Matt.
Good morning. Happy non-farm payroll Friday.
An extraordinary week this week.
Yes.
Right, let's go to the headlines. FTSE higher as pound retreats. Apple hits 900 billion market cap and markets await the non-farm payroll. Not forgetting it's at 12:30, not the normal 1:30 today.
Indeed.
Right, so the FTSE, the pound's being clobbered. Interest rate outlook, one and done.
Yes, indeed. Very much one and done. A very, very dovish rate hike from the Bank of England. Now, I mean, the key thing is, and I was talking to Mark Oswald in a segment earlier on today, and basically the Bank of England has now said to the market, you dictate where interest rates and the pound goes. And we've seen this before. If the market gets involved, then it's not good for the pound. We could see a run on the pound at this point, and that could be key. So I think a lot of smart money now will be short the pound. They may, which will lead to a push up in inflation, which in turn may lead to an interest rate hike, and the pound may bounce again. But it's market forces now. I'd be a seller for choice on the back of that. Certainly would be a seller of Apple, hitting $900 billion market cap. The biggest company in the world. The Apple X or 10 or whatever you want to call it goes on sale today at £999. Incredible amount there. We've talked before, or you've spoken to Ronnie Chopper about that may be a positive for the likes of Dixon's car phone if they can get these mobile phones sold at £999. Now that's huge, and it just feels the mobile market has become saturated. We've reached the point on smartphones that they can do everything. There's not really much more that new developments can bring to the market. So in the meantime, Apple, the normal phones seem to be selling well, so it's strong for them. We also had, when we look at the US markets are performing well. We've got the tax reform cuts coming through now through Congress and Senate. That seems to be more drip-fed than a kind of big statement, and that comes into play. And well, potentially the new Fed chair, Jay Powell, coming in, Jerome Powell coming in. He's had the nomination from Donald Trump, so that looks pretty much nailed on. Non-farm payrolls, those big one today.
Just to finish the week off.
Yes.
Right, in terms of FTSE 100, there's a rumour in the market.
Yeah, rumour. Next may tie up with M&S after the bad numbers out from Next yesterday, and at the start of the week. M&S, UK High Street isn't performing that well. Could they do something if they merged? M&S has always had that problem of kind of reaching out to the younger, fashion conscious, and maybe a tie-up with Next would allow that. There would certainly be a lot of cost synergies if they did that. I suspect Wolfson would be the head of the merged company. He is a very astute retailer. But again, I think this is people probably just long of the stock and talking up their own book on a Thursday, Friday at the end of the week.
Right, let's move across to AIM, one to watch, the new London listing.
Yeah, again, sticking with retail, clothing retail and fashion, Foot Asylum, well, they
very trendy, if I may say so.
Very trendy, and we can see by the type font or the logo there what they're doing. They're reaching out to kids, and basically it's selling trainers, sneakers, pumps, whatever you want to call them, to trendy kids. It's a couple of guys who used to be involved in JD Sports have started up this company. Listed yesterday. Listed at the price, I think it was about 167. It's now trading up at 191. But well, look, what do I know about what the kids are wearing? Maybe this company.
Well, it was a great article in the weekend, FT, about $600 trainers. I was absolutely horrified. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our currencies. Today, cable, Great British Pound, not so great today, 130.40. And the Euro, Great British Pound, cross 89.18. I don't think too many people were predicting this aggressive sell-off in sterling. Had we basically only if we'd had a move on the rates.
Yeah, I mean it's an incredible move downwards, but it's the outlook now, and as we mentioned at the top of the show, it's the markets now punishing Mr. Carney and saying, look, we're going to make this pound go lower. See what you can do about it. And the upshot of this, look, the 90 hand on euro sterling could not be that far off, obviously with Brexit negotiations kicking up again next week.
It's actually been quite quiet this week on the Brexit.
Yeah,
scene.
watch the news flow next week. I think it's going to be a lot different.
Right, let's move swiftly on to the core number. 60%, you mentioned off air, Russell Lynch, our friend at the Evening Standard. What's he concluded?
It was an article a couple of days ago that I picked out from the Evening Standard, basically saying 60% is the rise in the cost of living over the past 20 years for the average Londoner, and a lot of that is in house prices, but also transportation and general inflation of goods. It's not positive. I mean, the pound in your pocket is not going as far as it used to.
Yeah.
And that's tough, and that's tough from everyone working and living in London. But also, you've got to bear in mind that you have to invest. And if you've got a spare bit of cash, but you've got to get a return over 20 years of plus 60% just to stay where you are. I mean, it's running to stand still. So, look, you mentioned the cost of trainers, the cost of phones as well. Discretionary goods are going up, and it's tough out there, and it's probably going to get tougher.
Let's wrap up today with the economic calendar. All eyes on non-farm payroll. We're looking for a number in excess of 300,000.
Yeah, a huge number, but bear in mind we were about minus 33,000 last month. This was the hurricane effect. Now, you net that out, average is going to be about 160, 170,000 jobs created over the last 2 months. So don't just look at this month, 300,000. Also look at revisions from last month. That could be important. But as ever, everything is about the hourly wage earnings growth, and that's the key figure to look out for. Unemployment rate out of Canada, ISM numbers out of US, and to round it off for the oil traders, Baker Hughes rig count at 5 o'clock.
Well, I thought the front page of City AM, just to wrap up with, said it all about the world we live in. Apple source 900 billion market cap, obviously technology. Mr. Carney, bank takes a hike, pound hits after first rate rise in decade, all about central banks and quantitative easing. And Corbyn caught in tropical storm over misinformed Bermuda comments, and it's all about the politicians.
Indeed, on that note, it's going to be good fun next week.
Matt, as always, thank you very much.